Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're breaking down a really incredible, highly structured yoga session designed by Shilpa Shetty. Now, we aren't just looking at some random sequence of stretches today, not at all. Instead, we're unpacking a very deliberate, purposeful journey. This practice is specifically engineered to build your strength, massively increase your flexibility, and ultimately create this profound sense of mind-body balance. It's about intention, just as much as it is about the physical movement itself. So here's our roadmap for the journey today. We'll start with the art of balance, move into building core strength, then hit the full body flow. After that, it's twisting for flexibility, and we'll wrap up with deep bends and restoration.
All right, phase 1, the art of balance. Let's get into it.
When approaching these foundational postures, I want you to imagine that slower, calming cadence of a yoga instructor in a quiet room. This first phase is really all about grounding yourself. A huge concept to grasp here is the difference between passive and active engagement. Take the butterfly pose, right? You sit with the soles of your feet together, and the goal is completely relaxing those inner thigh muscles. You're just visualizing the up and down movements as the effortless fluttering of a butterfly's wings, total release. But then contrast that with the tree pose. When you place the sole of your foot on your inner thigh while standing, it is definitely not passive. You are actively pressing that foot into the thigh and pushing the thigh right back into the foot to create this powerful counterforce. One pose literally asks you to let go, while the other demands that you actively lock in. It's fascinating. Now, if you have ever wobbled, shook, or completely fallen out of a standing balance pose, which, let's be honest, we all have, pay close attention to this. When you're holding that tree pose for 10 seconds, you really need to hyper-focus your attention on 3 specific points on your grounded foot. We're talking about the big toe, the small toe, and the heel. Rooting those 3 exact points into your mat creates this incredibly stable tripod for your entire body. And remember, balance doesn't just happen from the foot down. You've got to pull your navel right in towards your spine to really engage those abs. Moving right along, phase 2, building core strength. We're picking up the energy and the pace of it now. 15 seconds. That is the absolutely crucial duration you need to hold the chair pose. So you push your hips back, bend those knees like you're sitting down in an invisible chair, and try to bring those thighs as close to parallel to the floor as you possibly can. Let me tell you, holding this for 15 seconds is going to completely ignite your quadriceps and your core. The secret to surviving this hold, you have to keep your abs fiercely engaged and make sure your tailbone is gently tucked in. That tuck is vital to protect your lower back from straining. Right after pushing through that intense chair pose and those lunge sequences, it is totally natural to feel the fatigue start creeping in. Your muscles are burning, and that's exactly why Shilpa offers this really vital midpoint reminder. She says, stay positive, determined, and committed to your health goal, and get the most out of this wonderful body. So take a breath right here, gather your focus, because we are about to tackle the most demanding part of our whole practice.
And that brings us to phase 3, the full body flow.
We have officially reached the summit of today's practice. What's really interesting here is how it defines our starting block, pranayama. It basically translates to a posture of reverence or prayer. You stand tall and erect at the top edge of your mat, feet together and palms firmly pressed together right in front of your chest. Now, don't mistake this for just a resting stance. It's an incredibly active posture of alignment and mental readiness. You're setting the stage before we initiate a continuous flow that is linked entirely, step by the rhythm of your own breath. From that starting point, we descend. Think about how the breath acts as your internal metronome here. You inhale, raising your arms up to the ceiling, gently arching the back. Then you exhale, folding forward from the waist with a nice flat back until you touch the floor. Inhale, and that right foot steps backward to open up the chest. Exhale, the left foot joins it, so you're in a slant or plank position. And then comes this crucial moment of suspension. You actually hold your breath as you lower your knees, your chest, and your chin to the mat. That's called asana, while making sure to keep those hips slightly elevated. Okay, from that brief hold, we begin our ascent straight back to the starting position. We inhale, scooping the chest forward and up into that beautiful cobra pose. Exhale, using your core strength to lift the hips high, pressing back and trying to touch those heels to the ground. Inhale, smoothly stepping the right leg forward between the hands. Exhale, bringing the left foot forward to meet it, putting you back in that forward fold. And finally, you inhale to sweep the arms all the way back up, really lengthening the spine, and exhale as your hands return to your chest in pranayama. Repeating that exact same sequence on the left side completes one full, seriously invigorating cycle. Coming down from that peak,
we enter phase 4, twisting for flexibility.
So, with the peak physical exertion behind us, we can consciously slow the pace back down and transition down to the floor. Now, breath mechanics are absolutely everything here. Consider the distinct roles your breath plays. The inhalation is literally your tool for creating physical length. You use it to raise your arms and sit up as straight as possible, elongating that spine. The exhalation, on the other hand, well, that's your tool for depth. With every exhale, you're able to safely twist your entire body just a little bit further from that lengthened spine. So the rule of thumb? Inhale to grow, exhale to rotate.
The absolute crucial point here is maintaining the integrity of the pose. When you cross your foot over your knee and twist, you must twist within your axis. You can't just lean sideways or strain your back just to fake a deeper rotation. It doesn't work that way. You have to use your core muscles to maintain a tall, proud posture. And above all else, this is a big one, both butt cheeks must remain firmly planted on the floor. That's what ensures the stretch actually targets your spine exactly where it's supposed to.
3 seconds as we transition to lying flat on our backs for the supine twist. Dropping our knees to one side and turning our head to the opposite side. This is your magic number. You want to hold your breath in that final twisted position while mentally counting for exactly 3 seconds. This brief pause, this tiny moment of suspension, is what gives a uniform, deep twisting stretch to your entire spinal column right before you inhale and return your legs back to the center. Which leads us nicely into our final chapter, Phase 5, Deep Bends and Restoration. Your body is warm, your spine is loose, and you are perfectly prepped for some targeted stretching that's going to lead into deep, deep rest. This is the progression for the wind-relieving pose. It is an incredibly restorative posture, especially for your digestive system and your lower back. Now notice the precise timing required here. You interlock your fingers over your right knee, exhale, and bring your nose right up to the knee, holding that for 15 seconds. Then you release and do the exact same thing on the left side for another 15 seconds. Finally, you draw both knees into your chest, bringing your nose right between them for a final symmetrical 15-second hold. It's a highly systematic movement. It deeply compresses the abdomen, and it is just wonderfully grounding. Our final physical efforts come in the form of deep back bends, the wheel, and the bow poses. Now, because these are pretty intense, perfect alignment is just non-negotiable to keep you safe. To lift up into the wheel, you must press firmly into both your heels and your palms. You have to actively squeeze your glutes to stabilize your hips up in the air. Keep their visual focus on lifting the chest upward, rather than just crunching and pushing from the lower back. Crucially, avoid letting your knees buckle outward. You want to keep them perfectly in line with your toes. And for the bow pose, which you do on your stomach, you'll need to reach back and securely interlock your fingers around your ankles before you arch and lift your chest and thighs together. After all that intense physical exertion, after the balancing, the core work, the flowing, and the twisting, we finally arrive at the true purpose of this entire practice. Shilpa signs off her routine by hoping it helped achieve peace of mind. And honestly, that is the ultimate takeaway for you today. You've seen exactly how to structure the movement, how to align your joints, and how to harness your breath as a tool. You definitely worked the body, but did you find your peace of mind? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this breakdown helps you find both strength and stillness on your mat.